What do Batman, Zorro, and the Lone Ranger have in common? You probably figured it out. They all wear masks. And have you ever noticed that every time you watch a movie featuring these three superheroes, that someone tries to get their mask off? They want to know the man behind the mask. Have you ever noticed that Batman, Zorro, and the Lone Ranger have a select few of people that always know their true identity? Through various ways and means, these masked crusaders have people that have got their number. One more question. What do Batman, Zorro, and the Lone Ranger and Satan have in common? Answer, they all wear masks. But there's one big difference. Batman, Zorro, and the Lone Ranger, they're the good guys. And Satan, well, he's the bad guy. The devil carefully wears his mask, hiding his identity in an effort to destroy you. And Satan has helpers who disguise themselves wearing their masks given to them by the devil. Satan and his masked associates are bent on destroying you. Now, Paul realized this truth and took the mask off the devil and his henchmen. 2 Corinthians 11:13, he says, "For such people are false apostles, deceitful workers, masquerading as apostles of Christ. And no wonder, for Satan himself masquerades as an angel of light. It is not surprising then if his servants also masquerade as servants of righteousness. Their end will be what their actions deserve." Now, we need to pull the mask off of Satan and his evil associates. And how do we do this? We must realize, first of all, that appearances can be deceptive. People peddling satanic false doctrine, they appear sincere, and they can disguise themselves as ministers of righteousness. But you better take a second look, and when you do so, you'll see the unscrupulous nature and the selfish ambition behind what they're doing. You'll see their superior air and their narcissism revealed as they really fail to serve God. We need to look through them using spiritual discernment. When something looks good but feels wrong, run from it. The Spirit's trying to speak to you. A pastor screening the Passion of Christ said that Mel Gibson explained when using the devil, he used female figures portrayed as veiled figures there. He said they would look beautiful, almost deceptive. And see, that's what happens. Evil masquerades itself. But you got to get your antenna up. And when your antenna's up, you'll detect it no matter how beautiful it looks. Secondly, you got to remember you could be tricked. You got to remember where there's a real, there's a counterfeit. Have you ever been tricked? We are tricked when we fail to believe something that does not line up with God's Word. God's Word is the standard that reveals what is false and what is true. In the stores, I've watched clerks take a $20 bill and run a marker across it, and the marker reveals what's authentic and what is fake. And God's Word is the marker, and it separates the truth from the false. And we must realize, thirdly, in all of this, that He majors in seduction. In the garden, He came at Adam and Eve as a shining angel, as a serpent, and He blows away all the theories of coming dressed in black. You see, that's what Paul saw Him as that shining angel. And you got to know He's there, and you got to figure out He's there. And He works through appealing to your pride. And He works through praise and flattery. In an interview in New York Magazine, Lady Gaga said, "What I've discovered is in art, as in music, there's a lot of truth, and then there's a lie. The artist is essentially creating his work to make this lie a truth. But when he slides it in, it's among all the other things, the truth and the lies. And the lie is there for a tiny moment. And it's in the moment when we lie that the audience falls in love." Satan majors in lies. He uses seduction to get us to follow him. And we must realize that deceivers will get what's coming to them. Usually deceivers pass off darkness as light, lies as truth. But God will not allow that. He will pull the mask off of Satan and his associates. And in the end, they will get what their actions deserve. God will judge them by their works, not by their appearances. 1 Corinthians 3:13, their work will be shown for what it is, because the day will bring it to light. It'll be revealed with fire, and the fire will test the quality of each person's work. It's important. We have got to take the mask off of Satan and his henchmen. We have got to realize that Satan is defeated through Jesus Christ. A married couple were missionaries stationed in a particular steamy jungle. And one day, an enormous snake, much longer than the missionary, slithered its way right through the front door and into the kitchen of the simple home. Terrified, they ran outside and searched frantically for a local who might know what to do. And he took a machete, the local guy did, and he came to the rescue, and he calmly marched into the house, and he took the head off of the snake with one clean chop. The neighbor reemerged triumphant and assured the missionaries that the reptile had been defeated, but there was one catch. It was going to take a while for the snake to realize it was dead. The snake's neurology, or how it was made, would make the blood flow that there's a considerable time for it to stop moving even after its head was taken off. And so for several hours, the missionaries were forced to wait outside while the snake was thrashing around, smashing furniture and hitting itself against the wall and tearing out the windows. Finally, they were no longer heard the snake. The snake's rampage would not last forever. And I'm telling you, Satan is a lot like that big old snake. He's already been defeated, but he just doesn't know it yet. In the meantime, he's going to do some damage, but never forget this. He's a goner. He's a loser. What does Batman, Zorro, and the Lone Ranger and Satan have in common? Really nothing. Batman, Zorro, and the Lone Ranger win. I like that part about him. But I'm going to tell you with this, take the mask off Satan and make him lose. Jesus exposed him at the cross. Jesus has already cut off the serpent's head at the cross. And Revelation states that what's already been exposed has been judged, and we win as Satan is defeated. We can hear him thrashing around right now, but put an end to his charade. Pull back the veil, pull off his mask, and allow the truth of the word to set you free and live in that freedom.